guys, my name is Milagros and today we are going to talk about the means of transport. What are means of transport? Means of transport are machines that allow us to move to one place to another. Every day we use means of transport. For example, for go to the supermarket, go to the school, or for visit our relatives or friends. Humanity throughout its history has had the need to move from one place to other different objects. In order to carry out these transfers, human beings use land, sea, and air transport. Initially, transportation was done on foot. People walked long distances to be able to communicate and take various elements to other places. However, their strength and endurance did not last long, which is why they began to tame and use animals, such as the dog, and then larger and stronger ones, which would withstand and carry heavier loads. In the same way, human beings also took advantage of the water currents of the rivers to transport and take different elements and especially food to distant places. Animals were also not so strong to move many and heavier objects. That's why men in prehistoric times invented the wheel. The wheel was his great invention, and with it, over time until today, it has been allowed the means of transport to have evolved. First of all, which are the different types of means of transport? We have three categories of means of transport. I'm going to explain to you. First of all, we have land transport. Land transport is the one that travels on land. Most means of land transport are based on the use of the wheel. They serve us for the transfer of people or cargo. An example of them are bicycle, van, truck, tractor, motorcycle, train, car, ambulance, and bus. The second category is aquatic transport. Aquatic transport, it is estimated that the first means of transport to across rivers, lakes, lagoons were floating trunks. Those primitive rafts were then replaced by canoes driven by oars. The use of maritime transport dates back of the beginning of the history to the need for the population to concentrate on the banks of rivers and on the maritime coast. These means of transport have made it possible to travel long distance and even discover new lands. This serves to move products and people between great distances, using the oceans and rivers for navigation. An example of different types of aquatic transport are boats, ships, kayaks, submarine, catamaran, tugboat. The third category is air transport. Air transport is considered any activity whose purpose is the transfer of passengers or cargo by means of an airship from one place to another. This serves us for the rapid transfer of people between long distances. To be able to take a plane, we must go to an airport. An example of the transports are seaplane, fighter plane, jet airliner, biplane, helicopter. The means of transport make that trip easier, making it more everyday and feasible. In its evolution, not only technological advances were incorporated, but also the differentiation between the different social sectors, making some means of locomotion an exclusive service. It was no longer only important to cover the greatest distance in the shortest possible time, but also to do it in a comfortable and safe way. In an increasingly closed world, any traveler can go around the world and he no longer needs to have 80 days. Now you know the different types of means of transport. I hope that you learned a lot with this video. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Ezekiel. Now I'm going to talk about the means of communication. So, first of all, what is the mean of communication? Well, basically, they are or either or it is all of those devices that we use to get communicate each other. For example, it provides us or help us to exchange communication or information with someone else. And of course, that is an important part of our life nowadays, and they are becoming really more technology or more intelligence. This is amazing. So now the means of communication wasn't the same always. Basically, they are have an evolution, and this is amazing. At the first, we have a most common or most basic means of communication, and those times I'm talking about the past, many years in the past. They use newspapers as the first, or basically the most used means of communication. Also, they use letters. Letters was very common, and basically it is like a message in nowadays, message or DM or WhatsApp, something like that. The mails, of course, was very cool in those days, but it has to get an evolution, and that evolution was the telegraph. The telegraph was very important part of the means of communication in the last century. Well, in the first of the beginning of the last century, and also the telegraph become a cell phone. The device that I'm using to record this video, the cell phone as the most means of communication right now in the world. It's used by many people around the world. It basically have changed our life in a really good way. Basically, it provides us the support to communicate, to send photos, send videos, send note of voice, send whatever we want. And this is an amazing thing that we have to do with this. Also, we have the computers, radios, televisions. Of course, that is amazing. And what can I say about those devices? Well, the televisions help us to watch the information. For example, when we want to watch the news, we turn on the television and we search the channel, the TV channel that we want to watch that news. This is amazing. Furthermore, we have the radio. The radio, we can listen, of course, music, and also we can listen interesting things like radio programs, news, and those specific things for the radio. Also, I think that in those days, nowadays, in this year, this century, I will say like the means of communication are getting evolutionary. For example, I will say like nowadays we have things like Instagram, Facebook, of course, Twitter or X, and it will help us, or it will be a means of communication, because we can share information with another people, and also we can get information. We can get, for example, if something really important that is happening right now in the other part of the world, well, we are able to get that information through those